Hey, welcome to Top Model Talk Show with your girl, Miss Anisha, baby. And I am bringing this straight to you today, not from a modeling bootcamp handbook, but from hands-on experience. And my experience that I'm going to talk about today is me being a model of color, or if you want to call it a black model, or urban, whatever you want to call it, whatever your language is, being a person of exotic, okay? So I wanted to just address this because I don't really want to use the word issue, but it definitely is a concern. It's a major concern, not just here where I am, but globally, okay? A lot of models of color, okay, are not being felt that they are being treated fairly, okay? I have been in that boat. I've been in that same exact boat. Now, let me tell you my personal experiences. So, of course, not being from my city that I live in now, the city of Minneapolis, I moved here and I had been trained and working in New York. I went there at a very young age, about 19 or so, from my hometown of Tulsa, Oklahoma. Yes, I was born and raised in Tulsa, Oklahoma, baby, and I got my start there. In almost every show that my agent booked me, I was the only model of color. And that's a true statement, okay? But when I started getting out of my community and being around fundraisers and doing fashion shows for the church, that I belong to, because sometimes they would do a church fashion show just to, raise money and do different events for fun. So I started modeling in my own community to be more around models of color. But if I was booked through my agent, I typically was one of the only models of color. And how did that make me feel? Well, to one degree, it made me feel very honored. Like, oh my God, I was good enough. I am the chosen one, the token. But at the same time, I felt like, why aren't more of us getting the opportunities, okay? And I had to really dig deep. Part of it was a lot of models didn't really know how to get an agent that were models of color. They didn't understand the steps and the ways to go about how do I get an agent? How do I get into modeling? And that's probably why I love being a top model coach, because my modeling school, okay, it is now open for models of color to find me, all right, and learn how to get the start properly. Now, I didn't have that. I didn't have someone to tell me how to get started. But what I did do was I did my own homework. I researched, I looked into, agencies, what was going on in my own neighborhood and the community. And then I found, her name was Sherry Tisdale. Okay, we have still kept in touch to this day, and she ended up being my model coach. And she had a company called Explore Talent. I'll never forget it. And when she was scouting models at the time, she was also a Mary Kay consultant, believe it or not. She was doing Mary Kay, and that's the first time I got introduced to skincare. How do you take care of your skin? How do you look your best in front of the camera? So a lot of these things, it was about grooming prior to finding an agent. All right, so we have to do our own homework. It doesn't matter what model background you are, whether it's Asian, Hispanic, models of color. We have to do our own homework because we are just not used as often as the Caucasian girls. It's just a fact. So do your homework. If you need help, I'm your girl, top model coach, Miss Anisha. Reach out to others that are in the business, that are models of color, and really get trained and prepare yourself on the professional side. Because if you're not prepared, if you're not professional, it does not matter what color your skin is. You may not, get booked, okay? So for me, the different things that I've ran into was definitely a hair challenge, okay? So today you guys see me, I got this big old hair on because I love big hair, baby. That's just me. I love big hair, and that's my personal preference. However, when I go out on a job, when I'm doing my photo sessions and things like that, I have to think about the client. And I have to think about what are they going to do when it comes to branding and marketing for their company, okay? Not my company, but their company. So I started to do my research, once again, research, homework, and looking into what was being the trend. Because trends come and they go, all right? Now, natural hair is really in. Okay, when I was doing modeling, when I got a good start, it wasn't as popular, okay? And it is what it is. And a lot of the times it was because a hairstylist or makeup artist or whomever had challenges learning how to do model skin of color. And that, again, we don't know a lot. I personally don't know a ton of makeup artists that are African American. I really don't. Usually they do their friends makeup, or they may, be on Instagram. If I find people, they never really worked professionally. They were self-taught, so they don't really know the industry. They don't know the business, but they do their makeups for their friends or clients that they have, gained over the years, that just to go out or at an event, but they are not really working for corporate clients. So you have to understand that there is a difference. There's a huge difference. So for me, I had to do my research and find out what's trendy, what's going on. So when I was getting booked and I was becoming popular, I literally would have photo shoots with clients that were paying me very well, okay? And they would use my own hair, but the artists that they hired did not really know how to do my hair properly or to my liking, okay? But I would see these images come out of me. They were, for the world to see. And I was like, wow, what can I do differently? What can I do to make their job easier and my job easier, okay? And also continue to get booked. That's the key word, continue to get booked. So I went out and I started seeking wigs, okay? I started looking at wigs. And guess what? Some of my top models, my favorite models, my supermodels, okay? My Naomi Campbell, my Tyra Banks, my Iman, they were all rocking wigs and they had a major career. So guess what I did? I started getting into the wig game, baby, and it changed the game for me. And that's really when my career started to soar and really skyrocket here in Minneapolis. And I didn't take it as an insult, but I still believe that more models of color need opportunity. And that's where the change needs to come. And we also need to have that discussion about Black models or models of color, our hair. Have those conversations. If you have a stylist that doesn't know how to do our hair, then that's not fair to us. And we should not be able to not work or not be booked because you, the client, is hiring someone that cannot cater to our hair care. Okay, or even our skin color. If they don't know how to do makeup for models of color, then why are they being hired? You, as a client or corporation, when you're doing these campaigns and you're booking talent, find someone that can be broad or hire multiples. Maybe one specializes in hair and they can do all ranges. Another may specialize in makeup and they can't do hair, but they can do all ranges. Or you find somebody that can do a little bit of both. So if you have a makeup artist or a hair person that cannot be broad when it comes to doing from the fairest skin to the darkest skin, maybe you need to rethink not hiring that person, not making it hard for the talent, because that's not fair, okay? That person needs to do their job just as well as we need to do ours, okay? So it's just education, all right? It's all a learning process. We all need to work together. And models of color, we do need to work, clients, okay? We do need, we got to feed families and we got to have a career as well. So just something to keep in mind. And that's just my take on it, all right? Thank you so much for joining us today on Top Model Talk Show.